Not at all. It simply means that the killer was someone else. And it means that in actuality, two culprits stole into... Is that just like a British thing? Is that a thing that British people say? Like... What do you mean two? It explains both why my shelves were disturbed twice and how there were two guns. Ooh. Ooh. I can hear a bit of the previous I can hear like sort of the first from the first game, I don't know what it's called. Mr. Portsman tricked Mr. Bird and gained entry into my office. Now you're just leading the argument. You still don't have any actual proof. If you could please go along with my hypothetical scenario for now. In the end, if you rely on an incident, you should have nothing to worry about. Now then, returning to my scenario, Mr. Portsman was out to steal something from me, which is why he checked my secret safe and ransacked my shelves. This is the first time. Correct. And then, just when he was about to look somewhere else, who should walk in but his own partner, Mr. Faith? Why did Mr. Faith come into your room? He probably had business with Mr. Portsman, which is why he was in the area. But that's when he noticed some sounds coming from my office, would be my guess. And he must have thought it was odd, so he came to check it out. Correct. And as a detective, that was the right thing to do. But when he came in, he found his own partner standing there. Because it was Mr. Portsman, Mr. Faith probably let his guard down. But Mr. Portsman was not so merciful as to let him leave alive. He waited for a chance and stole Mr. Faith's gun from him, and then... he killed him. He silenced Mr. Faith for catching him in the act of stealing. Really? Your best friend? This was the moment in which the first shot was fired, the one that landed in my files. Following that, Mr. Portsman wiped the gun down and left it behind as he made his exit. He could afford to do that because he had also left the fake dying message behind. Well, if things were as simple as that, then all would be solved. However, there was yet another visitor to my room, and this is where it gets complicated. Wait, then why did you choose Gumshoe to take the fall? Another visitor? Yes, and this other person's objective was also Now then, even after Mr. Portsman left, the door to my office remained unlocked. However, this new visitor had no way of knowing that, and so they stole the master key from the security guard's room, and then entered my room and searched through my shelves. This was the second time they were disturbed, and it seemed the thief found it at prize. Correct. Only, just as the thief was about to leave with the file, I appeared. The thief threatened me with their own gun, and made their escape. The second bullet was fired during that brief encounter. Precisely. So, do you see, Mr. Portsman? The person I met was just a thief, and was not in fact Mr. Faith's killer. Your alibi for the time frame in which I ran toward the other person is now irrelevant, because we now know that the murder took place during the first culprit's visit. Alright, so yeah! It still doesn't change the fact that it's all circumstantial. It would indeed render my alibi, which is, with scrutiny, mind you, irrelevant. But there is still one defining point of your argument, for which you have no evidence. Your supposition that I was the first visitor. But he has a point. I have absolutely no proof at this point. You know something? I find your attitude to be somewhat peculiar. If the person you met really was just a plain old thief, then why is that person not your main suspect? That is, if your theory is correct. Portsmouth's Alibi, Part 2. Whoa! Ooh. That thief you ran into should be our real suspect, wouldn't you say? We should be out there looking for that thief right now. They might still be nearby. I hate to repeat myself, but as I've already said, I was training in my room. And when Jim came to deliver some evidence to me... Stop yawning. So I can't be expected to know what happened around here after I left. You should be out there looking for the thief. I don't think it's at all dead-ended. I find your alibi to be fascinating. Let's continue where we left off, shall we? I know he's lying. I know he was here at the scene of the crime. I just have to find a way to prove it. Rebuttal.
Hold it.
Oh. Oh yeah. And that's how we also know the letters themselves were a setup and not for Mr. Faith. If the thief was the killer, do you think they would try to undermine themselves? But according to Mr. Faith's notes... Mr. Faith. A gun and a pendant. Interesting. This piece of testimony seems too crucial to let slip through the cracks. He brought me 2 items, a gun and a pendant that are related to yesterday's case. How is this important? There we go. Objection! I love doing that. Only 2 pieces. I believe the proper phrase here is "you fail." You fail as a prosecutor, Mr. Portman, as you intend to keep evidence hidden from me. Ooh, we got the quick boot. I haven't hidden anything. Well, here's a piece that I think you should read carefully. Ah, it says Mr. Faith was bringing the 3 pieces. Yes, and it is the victim's real dying message to you, Mr. Portman. I can't believe to get tripped up by simple arithmetic. Ha! Where's the missing piece of evidence? You have it, don't you? Only the guilty would make such a face. Detective Gumshoe. You don't have to say it, sir. I'll pat the guy down from head to toe. But don't come any closer, I'm warning you. It's all part of the investigation. Pow! They don't even think about stopping me. You tell him, Gumshoe. No! What's this? He had ooh, videotape. That's what you said. It would appear that you do have something to hide. Why would he hide something like that? There's only one reason why anyone would hide evidence of this caliber. Because it would unequivocally point to that person himself as a real killer. Whoa, he's sweating. Let's examine this videotape in a little more detail. Well, the section of the tape that will drive the last nail into his coffin. Oh, we're looking at the tape itself. KG8 incident. Interesting. However, what's recorded on this isn't what's important right now. What? Let's give the casing a thorough once-over. Oh, there's something hidden in it. Or there's blood. That's blood. Yes, and I believe this is what the good prosecutor was trying to hide from us. This blood is still fresh. This might be Detective Faith's blood. No, you've got it all wrong. No amount of denial can save you. We have but to run a blood test to find the truth. You told us that you had received evidence from the victim earlier. This song is so good. Now you will tell us when and how did the victim's blood find its way onto this video. Was it at the moment of his death? Did Detective Faith have this video tape on his personage when you killed him? No way to prove that. Not even if we were to examine this finger tape. This... Okay, so I thought it was going to say videotape, but it's just tape. So I was like, okay, I need a word to fill in the gap for video. It's like, oh, finger. All right, videotape, fingerprints. Okay, finger tape for fingerprints. Gnag or nag if the G is silent. If I had to take a guess, I'd say that the only ones on here would belong to the murderous you and Mr. Face. They finally got the speed lines. No, impossible. Wow. Oh. Okay. So he just ate his metal? He grinded his metal into a powder. And then ate it. And then passed out smiling and tearing up. Okay. Placed under arrest for the murder of Detective Buddy Faith, sir. Very good. And the results we got back from the lab techs are on the tape turned out to be real solid, sir. Blood. Ooh, this is the victory theme. This is nice. The blood work came back and it was definitely Mr. Faith's blood. And as a bonus, they were also able to lift a few of Mr. Faith's fingerprints. They got the salute. I still can't believe we got to see your cool deduction skills outside of the courtroom. I'm impressed beyond words, sir. It was nothing. I'm just sorry you got caught up in a murder in my office. Please accept my apologies. Really, compared to what I've been through, I mean. I consider myself lucky that it was only a burglary and a murder this time. If it had been a hold-up or a hostage situation, I'd have thrown my hands up in the air. I think I'm finally rising up from a goddess of misfortune to just an unlucky person. Yeah. You know something? Admit that Mr. Portsman really was one corrupt prosecutor. Well, I heard that there were a number of suspicious things related to his court cases. There's even rumors about how some of the evidence he uses is forged. And they say he even decided not to prosecute a few cases for some really vague reasons. We never did get around to asking what his reason was for breaking into my office. Yes, what did he want to steal though? This is just between you and me, sir, but there's a rumor that some sort of huge organization is involved behind the scenes. Well, well. With Mr. Portsman not willing to divulge anything, it certainly lends fancy words to that rumor. It would seem that we haven't heard the last from the last of this. What? I didn't say that, but rather that there's still many more mysteries for us to solve. For example, we still haven't figured out the significance to this piece of evidence. Take thought! The person who stole this file, the other villain of the night. Yeah, who was it? And what happened to the stolen pages? I wonder, who in the world was it that held me up at gunpoint? Wait. So it wasn't Mr. Portsman who was doing those those sick dance moves. Mr. Edgeworth, sir. Yes? I came across this while I was processing your office earlier. This card! What is it? Is that a bird or something? It's not just any bird. It is the mark of the raven. A three-legged raven. Even you should know what this is, detective. Oh, it's about that thing, isn't it? That great thief everyone's talking about. Yes, it's the mark of the great thief. Yatagarasu. Yatagarasu. Got it. Under the mark of a legendary bird, the Yatagarasu is noble to the end. A modern Robin Hood. Daily Express, special edition. Yatagarasu haunts embassy. The noble Yatagarasu, vigilante of the business world, reappears. Labeled mysterious and phantom-like, the Yatagarasu appears and vanishes at will. Though we don't know much about this thief's ultimate goal, we do know the targets. Corporate dealings exposed. The Yatagarasu likes to find and make public evidence of corrupt dealings of all sorts. The theft is always performed in silence, and always with perfection. Once a target is chosen, no dramatic calling card or announcement is sent forth. Instead, the target corporation is infiltrated without the target noticing. Some days later, the evidence that was found is sent to the mass media, along with a single card. Although it has been a while since the Yatagara's last appearance. Something written on the back. It's location of where the thief put the stolen files. So the person who stole the contents of the file was the Yatagarasu. Yatagarasu. Organization. Quite a few keywords are popping up in this mystery. The murder in my office. The return of the great thief Yatagarasu. Looking back, I can't say I didn't see these events coming. For they were heralded by the incidents that began to occur 2 days ago. What? Oh. So is it... Oh, okay, the end, we did it! So does the second case take place Turnabout Airlines. So the second case takes place 2 days before the first. Alright. Takes a while to save. So, artwork? There it is. Looks a little weird, because, yeah, he's kind of to the right instead of below, but... Anyway, that's episode 1. Turnabout Visitor. Complete. I guess. Alright. So... I guess we're gonna... Is that who I think it is? Is that who I think it is? Who is it, you ask? Find out. Oh, here we go. Best segue right here. Find out in the next video, in this series of videos in which I play through Miles Edgeworth, Ace Attorney Investigations longest title of all time. And yeah. So yeah. So, I was on a roll, but I had it, but then I kind of ran out of stuff to say. Never mind.